Hi everyone, it's so good to see everybody in person, and this is our first IARJ-RNA dialogue of the year, and it's part of a series of dialogues we are planning this year on religion and public life. And the topic for today is religion journalism versus religious journalism, and we have with us a fabulous panel and my colleague Larbi Magari, an Algerian journalist with more than 30 years of experience. He'll be introducing the panel and basically taking the conversation forward. So over to you, Larbi.
Thank you very much, dear Priya. I welcome everyone on this panel. Just I want to mention, and everyone knows that this is our first dialogue, and it is going to be the first in a series of dialogues. The topic now is very large, as you see. It is going to be about a large topic of covering a religion. What does it mean? And this is in the aim of tearing it apart from religious media. This media which is promoting a given religion. Um, with us on the panel, Deepa Bharath. I hope my pronunciation is correct. Is a reporter with the AP's Global Religion team based in Los Angeles. She previously covered a variety of topics from city government and public safety to health, religion, and race for Southern California publications, which means she has a many topics she's been covering. With us also Ken Chitwood is a religion scholar and journalist based in Germany. He is a postdoctoral researcher with the Department for the Study of Religion at the Università Beirut. I hope my pronunciation is correct. Affiliate researcher with the University of Southern California's Center for Religion and Civic Culture and editor of Religion Link, a monthly resource for reporters writing on religion. With us also Mohamed, who's going to connect soon and join us. Mohamed Hamdan is a Syrian scholar, journalist based in Tunisia. He is the editor of Syria Journal and Zaman al-Wasl, two publications online based in Syria. I mean, the audiences are mainly in Syria and the Arab world. For over 15 years, his coverage has focused on sectarian conflict and jihadist group in the Syrian conflict. Mohammed is going to talk to us about the situation of religion reporting in the Arab world. Uh, I hope he's going to join us soon. Uh,
هاي العربي.
Hi, Mohammed.
استكمل لك. هاي everybody, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay,
حبيبي
Mohammed.
دكتور عربي.
Welcome, Mohammed. I'm going to start with, is if possible, with Ken. Uh, just I want to put a plain question to you, Ken. From your experience, I see that you have studies in religion and studies in journalism. Uh, the main question is, what is the difference between religion reporting and religious reporting, or media religion and religious media, from your studies and from your experience?
Well, thank you very much for the question and for the opportunity to be here today. I look forward to hearing what other people can add to this. I think there's a couple layers to this question. The first and more obvious one that I think gets discussed quite often within groups like the RNA or the IARJ is in regards to what might be called like an insider or outsider's perspective on this thing we call religion. And that is perhaps religious reporting is coming more from an emic or insider's perspective, writing about the concerns of the religious community themselves, and from particular perspectives of theology or practice, etc. And then religion reporting may be more of an edict or outsider's perspective on religious traditions, communities, institutions, actors, etc. Now, you can be a religion reporter and be a member of a particular religious community, have your own religious convictions, but you're writing as if you are an outsider to this thing we call religion. And I'll stop there. I've got more to say about how we kind of construct this concept of religion and the religious, and how that impacts sometimes news coverage here in Europe. But I'll stop there and let others disagree or agree or go from there.
Thank you, Kid. I understand from your answer is it depends on the angle you tackle a relation, right?
Yeah, I think in this perspective, and I don't think, you know, some people look at religion and religious as religion reporting being more perhaps neutral, objective, unbiased, religious being biased from an insider's perspective. I also see religion reporting as biased in its perspective, constructing this category of religion as a second order object of study, as something we define and delimit in certain ways, and often only report on when it's acting bad in a lot of ways. Yeah, I think that insider outsider perspective is a simple way to look at it, a simplified
Yes,
way to look at it for sure.
yes, sure. Just Bharath, I don't know what Bharath think about the question. From your experience, from your studies, from your what do you think about this question, Bharath?
Thank you. Again, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be part of this conversation, and hope there are many, many more between our two groups. So I agree with everything Ken said. The only thing I would add is that religion reporting explores religion from all different angles, including no religion, right? I mean, so we cover organized religion, we cover spiritual traditions, as one might see, like in indigenous spirituality, for example. We cover new religions. Some might call them cults, but we don't. We cover nuns, NONES, people who don't follow any religion, but may or may not be spiritual. So we're looking at all these different groups of people. And the other thing to remember, the reason I put all those, I added that extra sentence to my bio is because when I covered all those different topics and beats, religion always found a way into like every possible topic. So, for example, religion finds its way into politics, as we all know and have experienced, education, gender and sexual orientation, health. Um, so, as religion reporters in the US, we find ourselves writing about all these subjects from the perspective of religion or spiritual traditions. For example, looking at how religious beliefs have an impact on people's access to vaccines, or how religion colors people's views on abortion or the transgender community. Um, so as one of our colleagues in RNA put it, religion is always in the room. So that's what I found.
Yes, true. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Bharath. Yeah, you gave many topics of the interaction between religion and daily life, like abortion, like I know this topics is very complicated in the Arab world. That is why we want to ask Mohammed. Uh,
Go ahead.
covering religion is in the Arab world is very complicated. I'm from the Arab world, and my PhD studies. My PhD was on the online communication of religion. What do you think about what Bharath and Ken just said?
First of all, thank you for having me. So I'm a little bit sick, so I'd like to summarize some issues about your question, Dr. Al-Arabi. As you know, that religious journalism speaks from within a faith to serve and strengthen it, while journalism about religion examine how from the outside to analyze and inform about religion's role in society. So in Arab world, we have not just a religion, we have a lot of sects, a lot of hidden theologies that you know and you've studied for sure. So when you have to cover religion in the Arab world, especially like Syria, like Tunisia, where political Islam, for example, in Syria, where we have these Salafist jihadist movements. So to cover this issue, it is very difficult, and you have to be it is very dangerous. So that's one point. The second point, one of our main challenges to cover religion in Arab world, that financing, that all of our outlets are governed by, we don't have independent journalism. So a lot of our journalists who cover religion, they suffer. They are not fired. So, for example, I'd like to just summarize. I did a small case study about Syria. I expected you will ask me something like about Syria, for example, that our reporting on religion within sectarian labels is obscure reality. It makes the conflict seems unsolvable and ignores the political economy of war. Our rule is to push past the label. For example, we don't just report a battle in Aleppo, for example, in my newspaper, or in Damascus. We have to go more on the religious narratives of the groups involved and their foreign backers. So this isn't just academic, or it is an essential for any genuine understanding or reporting or covering about religion, in order to move beyond war journalism that unfortunately fuel sectarian prejudice.
Yeah, Mohammed, just let me thank you very much. You are giving us some challenges of covering religion in the Arab world. But I want to know, do main people, and do Arab journalists make a difference between covering religion as a topic, as a normal topic, as a non-sacred topic, and promoting religion like religious channel? Do people? I know in Algeria, is not people are not making any difference between the two, but they think religion, religious, religious media is religion media. They do not make a difference. What about in Syria, in Tunisia?
Yeah.
Just in 2 minutes, please, Mohammed.
Okay. The big difference and the big challenge that you know that media outlets are governed by golf money. So golf money is already where you can't speak out about the true issues in our society about religion. You can't cover, for example, the minorities in the proper way. That's one of our challenges. So, for example, in Tunisia, political Islam, for example, about 8 years ago, I've met Rashid al-Ghannouchi, another chief that time. So covering religion, and when it is interacted with politics, it is very dangerous, because even if you can't be that professional, because if you want to be that professional, you will be in jail. If you even
Yeah, yes.
if you dare to ask a direct question, for example, just 1 second, I asked Rashid Ghannouchi that time why you didn't adopt the Turkish style of Muslim Brotherhood. He says no, we don't. For example, he paid the price after that.
Yeah, this is a good example. Rashid Ghannouchi, for someone who doesn't know him, he's, I mean, the most prominent religious figure in Tunisia.
He's
Can
in
uh, can First of all, just to know about in Germany and in Europe, what is the state of religion coverage? I mean, religion coverage. What is the state in Germany and in Europe in general, since you are based in Germany? The state of this kind of coverage in Germany and in Europe in general.
Yeah, thank you. The coverage of religion in Germany and more broadly in Europe, although it differs from country to country, to be sure, uh, comes with this, banal or everyday institutional privilege that Christianity still enjoys across the continent. And in some contexts, it's more explicit than others. But for example, here in Germany, the evangelical or Protestant church and the Catholic church both have funding in order to do their own reporting that is both religion reporting and religious reporting. You've got kind of insider stories that are being done, but also kind of secular religion reporting that's being funded and being supported by these church institutions. For example, one of the things that kind of mixes between the religion and religious reporting in Germany is Chrisman magazine, which is an evangelical Protestant magazine that is distributed with Die Zeit, one of the biggest newspapers in Germany. And so it kind of confuses the line sometimes between religion reporting and religious reporting. But you also have, secular religion reporters who are working at these institutions, these newspapers, these magazines, covering the topic of religion. But one thing I've noticed is that in Europe, religion is often treated as something it's just kind of a way we organize certain kinds of data. And when European media do religion reporting, it often appears as an object of governance or an object of control, something to be explained because it disrupts what is now more of a kind of presumed secular norm across Europe. And you can even push this further to say that religion reporting often kind of smuggles in these unexamined assumptions that religion is inherently irrational, inherently dangerous, or inherently declining. And that can be true of Christianity as much as it can be true of other religious traditions, especially in the context of immigration debates in Europe, Islam. So in much of Europe, these assumptions are amplified by these kind of stronger secular self-understandings that Europeans enjoy and European institutions support. So religion primarily becomes news, as I mentioned earlier, when it's causing some sort of trouble, whether that be an attack or migration debates, culture wars, institutional failures, individual failures. What can often get lost in that reporting are everyday practices, everyday habits, the way people are identifying or maybe changing their religious identifications, their very vibrant social worlds, the way they're coming at issues, as Deepa mentioned, that everyone else is talking about, but from their own theological and social perspective. So I think the task of journalism, and particularly for European and German journalists, isn't to decide whether religion is true or false, good or bad, but instead to ask questions about identification and practice, how people get labeled religious or not, and who doesn't, and how religion becomes visible, who benefits from that framing in our society, and how we might get better at religion as it's practiced every day, rather than just when we want to talk about it as a way to push a particular narrative about religion and secular society in Europe, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, it does. But what do you think on what Ken has been saying right now in the U.S.? I mean, Uh, uh, I met Stewart Hoover. Hoover. I don't know if someone knows him from the US. I met him in Bochum in the conference in Germany, and I asked him about tweet he made a few years ago. He said if I mean the meaning that he said if journalists took media religion seriously, Trump wouldn't be in the White House. I'm not doing politics here. Just this is what do you think, Bharath, about what Ken has been saying? Like, uh,
Well, I think in the US, it's such a mixed bag when it comes to religion. There are so many different types of beliefs. There are diaspora communities, um, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, you name it. Everyone's out here. And so they might not be here in large numbers, but I think they're still large enough to influence culture and to influence conversations. And so I think regarding your tweet on Trump, I think that was really interesting. I don't know if religion reporting could have made a difference in who's elected. But I do know that there is a new talk of Christian nationalism, right? With this government and the Christian symbols that we find in government. All that is very new um, in the U.S. I mean, it's more recent. It's a more recent phenomenon, and the tension that happens between Christianity and the other religions that are growing in numbers, excuse me, in the U.S. I think that presents an interesting story for religion reporters to tell. At the same time, we also see that in the U.S. the numbers of nuns, NONES, are increasing. People who don't affiliate themselves with religion. Um, and we're also seeing I've seen some interesting comments recently, very recently, about how more people are now drifting toward faith, especially young people, because they feel like politics does not offer solutions. And so at this point in the US, where I think the world can see that the US is in a pivotal kind of point right now. Things are a little chaotic. There's a lot of polarization in communities, and so religion gets thrown in the mix here. Do we have religion? What religion dominates the conversation? What religion dominates culture? And also, should we have religion in public spaces? So it's kind of a chaotic time, I would think, uh,
yeah,
for
yes,
religion and politics in the US.
yes. Just for last question, just 20 seconds for everyone or 30 seconds. Mohammed, do you think religion reporting is a field recognized in the Arab world?
I don't think so. It is the one of the three forbiddens in the Arab world. Because our problem in covering religion that a lot when you that the labels, sectarian labels, when you don't allow to say Alawite, Sunni, Shia militias, for example. You're not allowed to say when you have to cover, for example, Shia militias or Sunni opposition or Alawites, or when you
Mhm.
have, for example, to speak about Kaaba or about some differences between sects that we have, even if we want to reform, even if we are going to speak about uh, covering religion or religious journalism, for example, or if you have to speak about taking it out of its context to speak about it as a political identifier.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank
Uh,
you, dear Mohammed.
Sorry, because I
Just
have big flu, so sorry for that.
no, no, it's fine. Your message had reached everybody. The same question, Ken. What does it mean, recognize, which means in every outlet they have section for religion reporting. Is it recognized in Germany and Europe?
As related to my comments earlier, I think most people would not recognize religion reporting as a distinct beat. I think you've got reporters who write on religion at a few key publications, but it certainly isn't as robust and as well networked and as well supported, relatively so, as in the United States, and that's been on decline as well from kind of a mid-century, mid-20th century high. But I think, in general, people value quality religion reporting in Europe. I've found from among my colleagues here and from my own work, especially in a plural and increasingly post-Christian Europe, we need good coverage that moves beyond religion as a problem to be managed and toward understanding the religious as a human reality to be understood. And that doesn't make our reporting more religious rather than on religion. It makes it more honest and true to the lived reality of Europe today and for its potential futures on various issues of economic and political and social import.
Sure. So, Bharath, I know this religion and journalism is recognized in the universities. This is the field of my studies. Is it recognized in the industry, journalism industry, in the United States, I mean?
Yes, of course. I think a lot of newspapers, local newspapers, did have religion beats, but right now, with the dwindling of local journalism, we see that there are no dedicated religion reporters. Although, as Ken said, most editors do value religion journalism, good religion journalism, and God knows, if I may say so, we need that right now because religious literacy is so important. For example, at the AP on our team, which is, a bunch of religion reporters, which is kind of rare to see for one news outlet, we value explainers a lot, which means we explain, okay, for example, what is Ramadan or what is Diwali? We put out an explainer that tells our readers, what a particular observance or festival is. And that runs in, because the AP has such a wide reach, it reaches like someone in the Midwest who might not have met a Muslim in their lives or met a Hindu in their lives. And so I think that has a lot of value, explaining to people what these beliefs are when they haven't met a person of that faith. I think that's an example of how important religion journalism can be.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bharath. Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much, Mohammed. I want to give the last word to Priya. Do you have something?
Sure. Thank you so much. I mean, thank you to everybody for being present for this fantastic session. I think, this also makes us believe that we can have more such dialogues in the coming year and, more engaging discussions. And I think we got a very well-rounded perspective on religion in different parts of the world. And it was great that all of you could join us today. And we hope to continue the relationship and have more collaboration between RNA and IARJ. I think we've started it and we hope to continue further. And thank you, everybody, for joining the conversation.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
all.
Priya.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.